count to 10, and then I guess we'll get started. Get my iPhone. I realized I hadn't done that. I'm still getting used to this. It's still pretty awkward, but I'm gonna make it a little less awkward this time. This stream will be mostly just I guess your standard PC show off, and tell you a little bit about why it's in my case, how I got it, if I thought it was an okay deal. It's a lot on my hands. So, and also the stream seems a little jacked up. So, why don't we just get started? This one on the top is actually, this one's not gonna stay with me for very long. This is for my dad. This is a 57 Topps Yankees power hitters, Mantle and Berra. I thought it presented pretty well on the front. It's a PSA 1, pretty good folds or pretty good wrinkling on the front. It looks better than the grade on the front. The back, it looks like some cat or something just kind of just clawed at it for a while, and yeah, honestly, it's like there's like a big hole right here. I actually wouldn't be shocked if it was a cat or something like that. The PSA 1, it looks better on the front than it does on the back, which is fine, because I think this is just going to end up on my dad's shelf at his house. He always used to complain about how my grandmother threw out all his cards, typical stuff. So I thought it'd be nice, as this was supposed to be for Christmas. I thought this would be a nice sort of gift, beside your typical socks or tie or whatever. I'm gonna mess with my. Let's see if I can get this video quality up a little bit, because YouTube's yelling at me right now. So let's see. Oh, you can't do it in the middle of the stream. All right, good to know. Good to know for next time. All right, so what's next? Sorry for the poor resolution, I guess. Anyway, 93 SP foil, Derek Jeter. I think it's safe to say I was a bigger baseball fan in the 90s than I am now. I'm really not. I'm really not following it as closely as I think a lot of people on Twitter would like me to. But this is a card that, I was like 7 years old when this came out. These packs at the time, I remember going to card shows and they'd be like $8, and my dad would be like, "Absolutely not! You're not getting a pack of that." So this card always seemed kind of unattainable to me. I think it's a really nice 7. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, especially with I'm streaming as if I have bad internet, even though I have pretty good internet quality here. Anyway, the corners are kind of dinged up, but the front and back surface look pretty good. This surface, especially on the front, looks way better than the BGS 7 I had. But prices are down. I took a little bit of a bath on my BGS 7 and upgraded to the PSA 7, which I think looks a lot better. Also makes me feel a little worse about BGS, considering they put that in a 7, or my old one in a 7. So pretty happy with that. I'm not looking to. Maybe I'll upgrade to an 8 someday. Maybe not. But if I don't, I think I'd be pretty happy with the 7. Here's another Jeter that I picked up really randomly on eBay one night last week. I was going to bed. This happens to me a lot. I scroll through eBay late at night. I'm half awake. I put a bid on something and then I forget about it. Usually I lose. This one I did not lose, which makes me worry I overpaid. This is a 96 Flair Derek Jeter Gold rookie. You know, I live streamed this on Twitter. It's one of those weird rookies where, you know, like he played a little bit in '95 with the Yankees, but had bounced between Columbus and the Yankees. You know, like obviously this is 3 years newer than the SP, so not really a rookie card, but also I've always just been a sucker for these Flair parallels from the '90s. I just think they look really great. None of the companies are making cards that look like this anymore, so happy to have that in the old collection. I'm going to skip over this one for a second. This is the card that kind of got me back in all this madness. This is a this is a 98 Donruss signature Jeter autograph. Not a rookie, but it's numbered out of 400, or it's back when they didn't do the slash, you know, 10, 25, 50. They literally just serial numbered this card. And the only reason I know it's out of 400 is because the BGS label on the front says it was labeled out, you know, numbered out of 400. So this one has a long story. I've kind of tweeted about it in the past, but I wasn't, you know, I only got back into the hobby 13, 14 months ago. And it was because, you know, I had been doing a bunch of extra work, and, you know, we had a little extra money, and my wife is really cool about this stuff. So she said, you know, you should buy yourself something. And I think she thought I'd say, you know, I want a new TV, or, you know, like some sort of computer, you know, maybe upgrade the computer, or, you know, something along those lines. And I said I wanted a Derek Jeter autograph, and it was because when we got married, we were super broke, and the only thing I had that was worth anything was this Derek Jeter 2000, I think it was '09 Sweet Spot. It was probably the last Sweet Spot set that had any licensing. So I had that. It was worth like $300 at the time, and I just sold it. And you know, she at the time was like, "Oh, this is great. We have a little extra money." But a couple of years later, when we were doing a little better, I told her that I sold a Jeter autograph, and she goes, "Why'd you do that? If I had known it was Derek Jeter, I would have told you to keep it." So I got to do some shopping. I couldn't find the Sweet Spot autograph that I sold. Or at least for what I thought was a fair price. I was still pretty new at comping, but I told her I wanted a baseball card. I told her I wanted a Derek Jeter autograph, and stumbled onto this one. I paid $360, which is still the comp from last year. This doesn't come up very often, and I brought it to a trade night about a month ago, and of course, you know, I'm in New York, so everyone pulled this out and asked about it, and immediately it was, you know, the first guy that pulled it out made me think, oh God, I can't believe I brought this with me. But not only is this, you know, sort of what I'd call my main PC, but this one I guess is a sentimental one to me. So not going anywhere. It still comes with me. I think mostly just to show it off and tell this stupid story about how it got me back into the hobby. But anyway, that's all my Jeter stuff. You know, you can probably see in the stacks over here. This isn't necessarily going to be the biggest PC video or the longest one you've ever seen, and a lot of these have less of a story. So this next one is just, you know, I think I would say obviously not as valuable as you know, the 86 Jordan, but, you know, if you show this to a lot of people who are in the hobby, they at least recognize it. I've been through a few copies of this. I bought just for my desk back in 2013. I bought a copy on eBay for like $10 when they were really just, everything was just down. I wish I could have gone back, or I wish I could go back and buy PSA 10s, but I bought a really rough copy back then for like $10 on eBay. Just kept it on my desk at work. It was kind of a conversation starter. Again, iconic card. I work in tech, and a lot of people walked over and said, wow, that was something I really wanted, and probably made a lot of small talk a little less awkward. So it was good for that. But then when I got back into the hobby, I pulled out that copy of the card. I was thinking, oh, maybe this is worth subbing to SGC just to get it into a slab, and I pulled it out, and I just think this is going to be a 3 or a 4, so it's not worth the cost, and so I sold it. Bought another raw copy that honestly I should have subbed myself, but sold it. I sold that one too as part of this bulk buy I did, and then bought this on Twitter from Breakout Cards when he tweeted it. He didn't even tweet it with a picture. He just said it was a 9. And I just trusted him because sometimes I'm very trusting, but also Breakout Card seems like a good dude. So happy to have that one. Let's see what else. This is something I did pick up from a trade night. It's not like the highest grade you're ever going to find. It's a PSA 8 of the 2001 Topps Ichiro rookie. The backstory, this isn't the one I had as a kid, but this card is the first one I ever bought on eBay. I was 14 years old. We had 56K internet, and I had to convince my parents to go to the bank with me to get a money order. Drop the money order in the mail. The whole thing took like a month. eBay was pretty new, so I was playing with fire here, I guess only a little bit because it was like a $25 card at the time, which seemed ridiculous to me because I was 14 and I wasn't making any of my own money. But it's in my parents' house somewhere in the attic. There's a good chance I'll never see that thing again, so I almost got this as part of a trade for the next card I'll show you. But I couldn't trade, I decided not to trade this card, or the next card I'm going to show you, and I asked the guy how much he would want in cash. He said $60. I overpaid in hindsight, but happy to have this one. I'm actually not super interested in getting a higher grade, just because I kind of like that this is in roughly the shape that the card I had as a kid, or the copy that I had as a kid was in. So that'll probably stay in an 8. And this next one is the card I almost traded for it, or I would have gotten 2 or 3 cards as part of the deal, but I couldn't do it. This wasn't one I had as a kid. It was actually kind of out of my reach. I opened a lot of 2001 Topps, and I think, like I've told a lot of you in either Twitter chats or in person. Back in 2001, I had to collect in the Cloak of Darkness so that I wouldn't get beaten up or picked on in the gym locker room. So, opened a lot of '01 Topps with my dad at card shows, and could never get a copy of this. It's just like, it was always getting just like the exact opposite of who I wanted, which I guess that's how wax mostly works. So I shouldn't have been surprised, but I don't think I was nearly as sophisticated of a kid collector as we've got in the hobby now. This is one I always wanted, could never get my hands on it, and then even at shows, it'd be like $50, $60, and usually I'd go to a show back then with like $50 or $60 in my wallet, and I could never muster up the nerve to spend it on one card. So this was a rare Facebook pickup for me, and pretty reputable seller. Worked out. I don't know why buying on Facebook makes me so much more nervous than buying on Twitter, but it does. This worked out really well, and I couldn't trade it. At least not in that deal. I think in the right deal would be available, but that wasn't the right one. Here's another one I had as a kid that I probably never see again. 99 Pokemon Charizard hologram or holo. I pulled this, not this copy, of course, as a kid, and really enjoyed it because, I actually got picked on a lot when I was going to church, and I was going every Sunday, and we were playing Pokemon after lunch, and I just remember pulling this out of the pack and shoving it in my biggest bully's face and being like, how do you like that? So in some ways, these are memories that I probably shouldn't hold so dear, but I remember just really enjoying going to church and being able to shove this card into that kid's face. So that will likely never go anywhere either. We have a few more. I actually have to go to work in a minute, but these next ones are kind of expensive. Well, at least for me, because there's like a boomer inside of me who prioritizes his 401k and IRAs over cards. So, 55 Topps Jackie Robinson. I never aspired to own this card, but just like the more I understand, the more research I do about his, obviously his impact on baseball, but and even more obviously his impact on the country. Felt like I had to have one. Jeff on Twitter sold this to me after back and forth. I cleared out a bunch of just random slabs I had accumulated over like 3 to 4 months and just cleared it out. So, we made a deal. I think this is a really nice looking SGC3, and happy to have it. Here's another sort of like low grade iconic card I'm really happy to have. It's a 79 Topps Wayne Gretzky. I couldn't spring for the OPG. I also don't care that much. I just wanted to own a copy of this. As much as I was into baseball as a kid, I was even bigger into hockey. Played in a couple leagues. The only reason I didn't continue is it's an expensive sport, and we didn't have a league close enough to our house to justify the cost. And my parents couldn't schlep me back and forth, so I didn't hold any grudges. But I still enjoyed hockey more than frankly anything. Probably helps that I grew up in New Jersey as a Devils fan, and they just won all the time. Made it really easy. Like any hockey fan, idolized Gretzky. This card always seemed unattainable to me. There's probably a common thread throughout all of this where most of my cards are things that I just wanted to own as a kid. This was definitely one of them. I just frankly never thought I'd own a copy of this, even when PSA 3s were like $100. It just seemed like a lot of money for one card. I paid more than this. I actually bought this off a kid whose dad had this in his collection and was looking to move it. So that made me nervous. And in hindsight, it shouldn't have, because kid was great. He and I still talk. I sent him. It was part cash, or mostly cash, and then like a little bit of a trade. I sent him like a Trout Aqua from this year's Sapphire, and I think he subbed it to PSA, so I'm looking forward to seeing what grade that gets. Just a couple more before I have to let you go. I'm talking like I'm at work, but at least I'm talking this time and not just staring at a screen in the darkness. I deleted that video. So this is just a random Lewis Hamilton I picked up, again, scrolling through eBay late at night, put a bid on something and ended up getting it. I think I beat my buddy Brady in the F1 chat on Twitter for this by like $1. I beat someone in there on Twitter for this for $1. F1 is, no secret, really, really down right now. So I think this time last year, this is probably like $150 to $200 card, even in a PSA 8, but I got it for $78, and Lewis is the best for a lot of reasons. So seemed like an easy buy. And also, not also. I guess we're going to conclude with this teammate. 2020 Sapphire Russell variation. Saw this randomly while I was scrolling through Facebook. Was was one of those posts where someone was like, I'm buying, and then she's actually not buying anything. But someone posted a pair of these for $400 a pop. And the last sale, these don't come up that often, or they don't get sold that often, but the last one sold for $550, so I was like, oh my god, I gotta message this guy. I ended up making a deal for both, and splitting it with my friend Midwest Rips. We were both pretty happy with that. This is, and I guess this is an interesting way to end it, because this was my first in-person deal. I was standing outside of Dunkin' Donuts like a grifter, waiting for the guy to show up. He was actually sitting in his car staring at me because I didn't answer his text and I didn't see it come through. So yeah, just stood outside of Dunkin' Donuts in New York for 20 minutes waiting for cards. Never thought that that would be a part of my life, but now it is. And as embarrassed as I should be to say that, I wouldn't have it any other way. So yeah, that's my purse collection as of today, which is July 18th, 2022. I need to go put on another episode of Mickey Mouse for my kid before a meeting. Hope this was a little less awkward than my first live stream. And whether you're watching now or we'll watch it later, because I'm going to try to optimize this thing for SEO, I appreciate it. We'll do this again soon. And if you would like to follow for more jokes and card content or just general banter, I'm on Twitter at RichMoyCards. We'll see you again later.